Hey everybody, I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Jill, and this month we're going to be talking about creativity. Now, creativity is imagining what you could do because you are made in God's image. Today's big idea is that God is more creative than we could ever imagine, and He made us to be creative too. One of my favorite ways to see God's creativity is in all the amazing ways that He created animals. And that is what our game is about today. I'm gonna play an animal sound, and then I would like you to guess what animal it is. Here we go. Okay, what animal makes this sound? Is it a dog, a bear, a fish, or a sheep? Yes, you're so smart. It's a sheep. Okay, what animal makes this sound? Is it a cat, a shark, an owl, or a cricket? Yep, it's an owl. Okay, what animal makes this sound? Is it a leopard, a frog, a bald eagle, or a spider? It's a frog, that's right. Okay, what animal makes this sound? A whale, a snake, an elephant, or a walrus? It's a whale. Okay, here's the last one. What animal makes this sound? Is it an otter, an alligator, a mountain lion, or a hippo? Believe it or not, that is an alligator. Isn't it amazing that God made so many different animals and that they have their own unique sound? He's so creative. This reminds me of our verse for this month. It's from Psalms 145:3. Lord, you are great. You are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are. So let's get up on our feet and sing and worship God together.
Spinning. You made the ocean and everything in it, and you made the sky so blue, and you made every other color too. You made the sun, you keep it shining. You put the moon up in the midnight sky, and everything around me created by you only. I just wanna thank you, 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful. You made my feet, you made my hands, you made me sing and you make me dance, 'cause your love is all around me, and your love is so astounding. I just wanna thank you, 'cause everything you made is so beautiful. Every single star and every beat of my heart, and it's beautiful. Here we go, break it down now. Everything you created with your imagination is wonderful and good, wonderful and good. You're my inspiration beyond all explanation. You're wonderful and good, you're wonderful and good. Everything you created with your imagination is wonderful and good, wonderful and good. You're my inspiration beyond all explanation. You're wonderful and good, you're wonderful and good. I just wanna thank you, 'cause everything you made is so beautiful.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob, and today I want to talk to you about creativity. Because there's so many different ways to be creative, right? You could be like a creative actor. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well. Who's Yorick? You got the wrong skull, kid. Oh. You could be a creative dresser. Hey! You could be like a creative, I don't know, scientist? But most of the time when you hear the word creativity, you think of something like this. A work of art. Or maybe you think of something like this. Wonder what's got him so anxious. Oh! Oh! Ugh, ewy. In today's story, you're going to hear about the very best creation of all time. Actually, it's the very first creation of all time. It's where creativity was born. And cockroaches. No, it's good. It's indescribable. See you in a few.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2.
In the beginning. The very beginning. Before the first breath. Before the first flash of color. Before the first moment in time. There was nothing. Nothing. Nothing except God. But when God saw nothing, He saw a blank canvas. He saw the perfect backdrop for a work of art beyond imagination. So, God created. From absolutely nothing, He brought forth the heavens and the earth. But there was no shape or form. God's Spirit hovered over the dark emptiness. Then, God called out,
"Let there be light."
Brilliant light shattered the darkness like golden trumpets on a still morning. Bright rays shimmered and danced in all the hues of the rainbow. God saw the light was good. He divided the light from the dark, calling the light day and the darkness night. Evening and morning together shaped the very first day of all time. Then God said,
"Let there be a huge space between the waters. Let it separate water from water."
By His words alone, God shifted the waters, leaving a vast arching space above. The sky. Evening and morning rolled past, the second day. God lifted His voice again.
"Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place. Let ground appear."
Dry land shrugged its way out of the water. Islands and vast continents and gritty deserts and towering mountains. God called the dry ground land, and He called all the gathered waters seas. But God had even bigger plans for this day.
"Let the land produce plants, and let there be trees on the land."
In moments, tall grasses unfurled across the plains, and giant redwoods shot up from the dirt. Flowers and grapevines and carrots and corn sprouted and flourished. God saw that all of it was good. That evening and morning closed out the third day.
"Let there be lights in the huge space of the sky. Let them separate the day from the night."
At the sound of God's voice, the blazing sun exploded into being. The silvery moon spun out. Stars and galaxies flooded into space, filling the universe. Pew, pew, pew. God set the sun to rule the day, and the moon to rule the night. And God saw it was good. That evening and morning made up the fourth day. But God wasn't done painting his masterpiece just yet.
Let the seas be filled with living things. Let birds fly above the earth and across the huge space of the sky.
Instantly, the seas and rivers and ponds writhed with dolphins and octopi, salmon and minnows. Eagles soared and bluebirds nested, while ostriches stretched their long necks. God saw they were good. That evening and morning formed the fifth day. But God kept working on his creation.
Let there be livestock and creatures that move along the ground and wild animals.
At once, animals of every kind appeared. Elephants thundered through the forests, and squirrels darted up tree trunks. Monkeys chattered, and pigs rolled happily in the mud. God saw it was all good. But he had one more creation in mind.
Let us make human beings so that they are like us. Let them rule over the fish and the birds. Let them rule over all the animals.
Then, with his own hands, God formed the very first man and the very first woman, Adam and Eve.
I'm me. And you are you.
And this place? It's beyond words.
Unlike the animals, God made people in his image to reflect him.
Have children and fill the earth. Rule over the fish and the birds and every living creature. I am giving you every plant on the earth for food.
God looked over everything he had created and saw that it was very good. That evening and morning were the sixth day. And on the seventh day, God rested. His work was finished. His glorious creation was complete. But because God had formed people in his image, they too could reflect his imagination and creativity. The possibilities ahead of them were endless.
Okay, I just thought of another way to describe creativity. Creativity is imagining what you could do because you were made in God's image. God created everything, right? He made the stars and the planets and the mountains and the oceans. He made dogs and cats and elephants and ostriches. But when he made us, it got personal. God made us so that we think and feel and act tiny bit like him. We are made in his image. So check it. Imagine looking at yourself in a mirror. That's what God is like. And no, I'm not saying that he has the same hairstyle or eye color, but look a little bit closer. There's imagination behind your eyes. You have a smile that could encourage someone when they're feeling down. And your hands that could help someone lift a heavy load. Ugh. All right. There's no limit to what God can do through you. That's because there's no limit to God's creativity. That's the one thing to remember today. There's no limit to God's creativity. Seriously, take a look this week at the things God has made and let it blow your mind. Look at the stars in the sky and think about how it could take literally millions of years just to visit one up close. Listen to the sounds outside your window at night and let yourself wonder, how do crickets make that noise anyway? And then look really close in the mirror and see how unique you are. See the color and feel the texture of your skin. Look deep in the reflection of your eyes to see a God that made you and loves you more than you could even imagine. That should give us all a lot to think about. No wonder this guy's a statue. He's thinking about God's creativity. Dude.
Wasn't it so great to learn about how God created this earth? It's amazing how he thought of every detail when he created every single thing. That leads me to a question that I have for you. What is your favorite thing that God has created on earth, and why? Go ahead and pause this and discuss with your family. My favorite thing on earth that God created is the mountains. I was just at Hume Lake last week and we saw some giant sequoia trees in the mountains. They are such a great reminder of how big and powerful God is. For our last activity, all you need is some Play-Doh. Make sure you pause the video to give you some time to grab your Play-Doh. Now, I want you to create something that relates to the story. I even challenge you to create one thing that God made for each day of creation. For example, on the fourth day, God created the sun. So now make a sun out of your Play-Doh. Feel free to finish your creation throughout the week. I hope you have a fun time sculpting God's creation. We'll see you next week when we learn about how God created you so that you can be creative. Bye!